Share Twitch.
Yeah, let's pump the Twitch, shall we?
Yep.
Why can I never find?
Yeah, Stephen Larson, I've got 91 people watching them right now, so I'll get them to raid us later.
Nice. Always enjoy a good raid. Right.
Yeah.
Push your buttons, people.
Oh, okay. We went live now. I've been looking like a crazy all over Twitch, dude. There we go.
Yeah, Twitch always takes a little bit longer. Alright, one more. Where's... I will go to our Facebook and share the Twitch. Who's got... Turn the volume down on your phones, amateurs.
Sorry, that's my
Like, why am I hearing hi-hats?
I need more people to talk to me.
Have you shared it on our Facebooks? There we go.
Chill it out.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
share.
All around the world, all around the world.
All around the world.
I'm pretty sure we do a Facebook notification when we go live. Even though we're not streaming there anymore. Oh, Cam. What up, boy? Great Scott in the building. Hey, Jen. Alright. Fools ready for this?
Not at all.
But Alright. Sweet, swash, swoon. Kraton, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody out there in internet land and civilization. Coming at you from a cabin in the woods again. This is the Bin Podcast. My name is Shartam. I'm here with Big Wayne, with Mikey, and of course Cortez. Brenna could unfortunately not join us because she had something that actually pays her. That she had to do.
I heard Brenna is in jail for trying to storm the Capitol building.
Is that a fact? I thought that was me. But yeah.
Spoiler alert, man. Jesus.
Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad.
Yeah.
More on that in a bit.
Yeah, so we don't know what to talk about because nothing is really going on in the world.
So slow.
It's been so slow, but let's do the important stuff first. What are we drinking, gentlemen?
I will go first. I have a little leftover spirits from the new year. I have some Moscato d'Asti. And it's a little bubbly and a little fruity and delish. I like it.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Mm-hmm.
That does sound good. I like it.
I'm on our branded because we're so big time. Look, our bin Shiraz.
The Bin Shiraz.
I've been talking to Lindemans about sponsoring us, and they've agreed.
We're almost at bin episode number 50, which is going to make that bottle seem so much more relevant.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm on.
So, Cortez, what are you sucking on? I mean, what are you drinking?
Wow.
You have to pay me to find that out.
Onlyfans.com/SoulReaper24.
£20 is £20.
My website is I've been hosting this website called The Deviant.
Shut up.
We can't hear you, man.
Yeah, your volume went down again.
Oh man, where's that?
It's like you haven't been here before.
What up, Swede? What up, Susan? Hey, Kay.
Hey, Susan.
Hello.
And weird guy.
Oh, Swede.
Where is my volume?
It's all right. It's like Cortez is in a cave today, so it's fine.
Better?
Nope. I don't
All
think
right.
it's using your headset. I think it's just using your
Internal mic.
Yeah. So you can. Yeah, sure. That's funny. So
That's so 2020. That's
yeah,
so
that is
2020.
that is such a 2020 joke. But I got a couple things. I mean, if you guys want to talk about them, we can. We don't have to. I mean, they're really small things.
No, we have to talk about the most important thing first. I'm back in the fucking cabin. I'm sitting there, quarantined again.
What are those two large eyes poking through the window right there? What is that?
Yeah.
I don't know, probably a troll or something. I don't fucking care.
To be fair, Jartan, your videos at the minute are starting to look more and more like hostage videos, like a bit Blair Witch.
It's starting to feel that way too.
Have you
You
started?
should watch a movie called Cabin Fever.
Have you started naming the furniture yet?
Naming the furniture, painting the volleyball, like, you know, all that good shit that you do when you're stuck in the wild.
Have you sat in every area of that house?
It's not a house, it's 2 rooms, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Wow, we're slowly watching the unwinding of Jartan.
The unraveling.
I'm basically calling everyone that I know, going, talk to me. Please, talk to me. No, it's not that bad. I've only been here for 4 days. 4 days.
Any signs of snow?
Yes, there is.
Don't talk about snow, please.
No, but if you want to see what I'm doing on my days sitting up here, you can become our Patreon, because I just uploaded my first motor and music video. Yeah.
It's his second cut. The first one, he fell over a lot, and I just laughed the whole time.
I'm gonna upload that too. I'm gonna upload that too.
It was supposed to be best bits, but it was more blooper reel.
Yeah, I was like, this is great. This is like the best bits of Top Gear when they do like the countdown.
Yep.
Genius, but rubbish.
Yeah, you're like the Norwegian Richard Hammond.
You are Hammond.
Hammond.
Yeah, hamster. Yeah, I probably am. Yeah.
What's up,
Probably about the same
Ease?
height as well.
What's up, Doc Fearsome? Everybody's here today. The whole gang's here. I don't know why they're here. There's not much. Again, this is a very. Oh, welcome to the new year, everybody. We've been on a bit of a hiatus, sort of. I have been here. Yeah, that's the first Thursday I've missed in 48 weeks.
Yeah, never miss one again, because I tried to do something and that was horrible.
You know, I feel like that show was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
To
I
be
had a
fair,
really good time.
it showed how far we've come.
Yeah,
Like,
that first show was. I couldn't even I saw you guys live and I saw what you're doing. I was like, oh, I have to turn this shit off. Oh man.
I thought, like, you know, it's like the people that were watching, we got a lot of positive feedback from the people who watched that show, and they got to see how we started, you know, with our first episode. And I think that a lot of things were really cool. I love the fact that Jartan was able to go back and, you know, recant some of the things that he had talked about from previous shows. And I liked how I got to see how our opinions and our minds have grown over the last year. And I think that the average person, they don't have the ability. They have the ability. They just don't have the necessary tools, so to say, like we have, you know, to go back and see, how did we change? How did we grow? How did our opinions mature? How did the world change, you know, since these events have happened? That's only been a year. So it only being a year of us being able to watch that and being able to watch the first show. And, you know, I learned a lot about us. I learned a lot about myself, you know, and I learned a lot about the things that we think about. And a lot of times we were right on base. So if you're watching the Ben podcast right now, we're kind of like prophets. So let us profit from being your prophet.
I was like, this hasn't been.
I quickly changed my name to Nostradamus.
Yes.
Negrodamus.
But no, I mean,
Brian Gumble looked like Malcolm X.
I've learned so much from all you guys, and I think the biggest emotional takeaway that I got was that time when you and Cortez were talking about the guy when the pickup truck rolled up on him, and I was like, oh, I just think he's asking for directions, and you two were like, no, it's go time. I was like, whoa. And that kind of highlighted, say, my British privilege, because I don't have. That's not my first instinct. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Pickup truck rolls up next to me. I think, oh, this geezer's lost. You think, I'm about to get shot.
Yeah.
And, that's quite an emotional epiphany for me.
So maybe next New Year's we'll do the same thing, or we'll watch this episode.
Yeah.
Because it'll be 52 calendar weeks later. Shit, we'll be at episode. That'll be episode 100 exactly.
So what we've got to do for the next year is make absolute gold bangers every fucking week.
I think all of our episodes really slap if you think about it. They're if you got subwoofers in your car, listening to this show is definitely a treat. Definitely.
Yeah, don't do that. I got a car with subwoofers. That is exciting.
What'd you do? Sit on your speaker?
I can't. Anyways, first thing on the menu, well done, Georgia.
Yeah.
Well done, Georgia, in your runoff elections. You have successfully taken down Palpatine.
Mm-hmm. But also used the runoff rules that were put in place to stop black people from getting somewhere, and it's helped them get their first black senator.
Stacey Abrams is the Mace Windu that we deserve.
Yep.
Or the one that we need, not the one that we deserve.
Yep.
She is kicking all of the ass. All the ass in 2020, Stacey Abrams kicked.
And she can run again in 2022, isn't that right?
Correct. I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll smash it.
I think that so if I correct me if I got this wrong, but winning
You got it wrong.
Wilson.
Oh shit.
Go on, mate. Sorry.
So winning those 2 Senate seats means that the Democrats have a majority in the Senate and the Congress.
It means it's
50,
tied.
50,
It means it's tied now, which means there's no longer a Senate majority leader, which was Mitch McConnell, who got to decide what they actually voted on. Now that person will be Kamala Harris.
Yeah, but if there's a tie, right? Because there's
Kamala
50.
gets to cast and vote. Yeah,
she gets to cast a vote, and that means, even though it's not democratic, it's essentially is, right? Yeah. So if everybody votes, party within party lines, Kamala Harris will come in, and the Democrats will prevail, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, but there are a few conservative Democrats that are a bit of a worry that they could sort of like skew it the other way. But do you have a whip system in the Congress or in the Senate?
Yeah, we have whips.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had whips for a very long time, Wayne. If you give me some time, I can educate you on.
No, not them whips.
The history of the whips in America.
Not that one.
Wow.
Oh, and
if you want to see more of that, go to Cortez's OnlyFans.
Tim Bristol, what up, Tim?
You keep on saying that. I'm going to make an OnlyFans.
Yo, I'm thinking about it. People out here making the whole bag out here.
Mm-hmm.
If motherfuckers gonna pay, they're gonna pay. Sure, it's all on the deal. Tim Bristol says there is a Senate majority leader. It's Chuck Schumer. Yes, because Kamala Harris is the 101st senator technically. Thank you, Tim, for that clarification. Yeah. I was wrong. See, look at that growth. Said I was wrong about something. Didn't make a big deal out of it. But see,
it's weird, isn't it? Saying, "Oh, I got it wrong." Ooh.
I know how Wayne's feels.
I got it wrong joining this podcast today.
I thought you got it wrong back in like 2001 when you were in a vocal harmony group.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Any other thoughts about Georgia and how awesome Georgia is? I would live in Georgia, but they don't wear masks.
No, I mean,
well done.
It's just historical, and the irony of the slow burn, the fact that the policy that were put in to prevent or to keep black people out of any kind of contention within the political system has now sort of backfired, because you've now got their first black senator, and the fact that it's always been part of the known Deep South, and Atlanta has become so predominant and so massive that they kind of had the casting vote, really. Yeah, it's just mad.
Okay.
But
Just
ironic.
mad. Next on the menu, life outside of Europe. Wayne, what's it like not being in Europe? Now, do you feel more American? Are you putting cheese and bacon on everything?
I've got my chlorinated chicken in a bun with processed cheese on top.
Ah, the
No,
American way.
if I'm honest, it's too early to tell if anything's changed, because obviously it's more to do with the logistic side of goods going across borders now, because now anything that leaves the UK into mainland Europe has to have new customs checks, new paperwork. Things like visas are now a thing. So I think it's going to take a little while before we really feel the full effects of what it is truly like to be out of Europe. I mean, I went to the McDonald's drive-through the other day, and they even had signs as you went into the drive-through, officially printed signs by McDonald's head office, stating that some items may not be available on the menu due to Brexit. And I was like, what kind of mad? You didn't know this? You waited till after to tell people?
That's what they should. That's what they should have did before the referendum went out. Is like all these things on the McDonald's menu are going to be gone if you vote for this. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
All the leaders would be like, no, I can't get my chicken nuggets.
No chicken nuggies, but I love nuggies.
On the other side, the rest of EU has had a big party. Everybody got €100, and Boris Johnson, wobbly head doll. So we're just having a blast over here. It's just,
on what planet do we live on where Boris Johnson is making more sense than American politicians?
Yeah. How'd you work that out, Mikey?
Say again?
So on what planet are we living on? In what timeline does Boris Johnson make more sense than American politicians?
I don't know how the Walmart version of Trump is making more sense than OG version of Trump, but here we are.
So, I'm going to say, for everyone that is enjoying the Ben podcast at the moment, notice that we're on the wonderful Twitch and the wonderful Tube and other platforms that
we're not going to bring them up.
Going to take time to mention, but think about this. The President of the United States has not said anything of relevance about his supporters. We're not talking about Republicans. We're not talking about Democrats or the Independent Party. We're not talking about black nationalists, as a lot of people like to bring up. We're not talking about Antifa. We're talking about the president's supporters have stormed the Capitol of the United States, where Congress was in session to deliberate and to, quote unquote, ratify the election of a new president of the United States, a new leader of a global power. And they not only vandalized, occupied, overtook the Capitol building, but they started stealing and all types of other things. Some people died.
No, I didn't.
Cortez, I need to stop you there. When did this happen? I've seen nothing of this. I've been doing my cross stitch in my cabin. When did this happen?
This happened yesterday afternoon. Let me put this into perspective here. We're not going to do a versus. We're not doing a versus. We're doing a perspective. So for people that are trying to say, I've already been through this for the last day, we're not going to make this a quote unquote race issue. What we are going to say is about the inconsistencies in how the American public is dealt with based on what they look like. So, if you guys remember, earlier last year, there was a rally and a protest that was peaceful for the Black Lives Matter hashtag in the quote unquote movement that was going on at the time. And they walked and marched to the Capitol building to demand justice for those people who were murdered. Let's call it a spade what it is. Those people were murdered by law enforcement. And they had the National Guard on all the steps, making sure nobody got inside that building.
No, it was National Guard. It was police.
It was so it's police in that camo.
Yeah,
that's troubling. But so you have law enforcement on top of the on top of the steps of the Capitol, and no one got inside, not a soul.
So, no, but here's the deal. All right, let's not do whitewashing, because I know that everybody sitting in this room, and probably most of the people watching, who aren't dumb and should go to the moon. I didn't mention my rocket. Oh fuck. Yeah, but we agree with the premise of Black Lives Matter, but there, in every protest ever done, there is rioting. It kind of goes hand to hand. So there was bad thing that happened under the Black Lives Matter banner, but just because you subscribe to a movement doesn't mean that that movement is responsible for everything that who subscribes to that movement does. So there was bad things under Black Lives Matter. It wasn't only peaceful protest. Let's be honest about that, right?
Yeah,
but
definitely.
but what we can talk about are the actual facts at hand. There were line after line after line, I think 3 or 4 deep, police officers, SWAT teams with AR-15s, full fucking body armor, helmets and all that, standing there to make sure that nobody got into the Capitol building. And there is a discrepancy with what we saw back in March and what we are seeing now. That is a valid point, but I do take issue with the whitewashing of the riots. But we now see that rioting while protesting has nothing to do with your cause or your skin color or your origin. It's what happens when people are dissatisfied. And yeah, so that's my 2 cents. Sorry.
And Kay brings up a point that I'm probably going to piggyback on a little bit here. It's typically the pigs who actually start the riots. That's what Kay says. But you didn't see the agitation from the police that you saw with the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, there was deliberate and intentional agitation and provocation on the side of the police to get people pissed off, where they would do something, when they would intentionally find like a girl who's just holding the sign, spray her all in the face, and that pisses off everybody around them. So now they're amped up, and then they do something to one of those people, and that amps up the group around them. You didn't see any of that yesterday.
Can I say this message? This is something that's on my heart, and me and you talked about it a little bit the other day. And
we're gonna do a panel, so don't let the cat out of the bag if you can.
I'm not gonna mention that. This is just on this subject. To all of my law enforcement people that are out there who are watching the show or might watch the show in the future, because I'm black does not mean that I'm your enemy. And you need to understand that regardless of how you were trained, me being black does not make me more dangerous than my counterparts in this country. And I'm not going to do any worse than anything that they could possibly do, especially when I'm there to have my rights, my actual rights, not my perceived rights. I just want to live and be happy and have a home and have stuff. That's all I want. I don't want nothing else.
You want a turbo? Come on.
We can continue.
He wants a bigger.
You want a bigger turbo.
We're not your enemy, is what I'm trying to tell you. Regardless of how you've been trained, we are not your enemy. This is not a war. We are not against you in anything other than the fact that we don't want you to hurt us or kill us or unjustly lock us up and put us in jail or give us charges when you could have just let us go if we weren't doing anything of substance. And even if we were doing something wrong. Speeding is not a reason to shoot me.
No, no, I agree, and I don't find you dangerous at all. I just don't like these two cunts.
Fair enough.
That's because Wayne is crazy. Look at his shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, show
What's
us
up
your
with that shirt?
No,
What's up with that shirt?
We'll wait for the raid and then we'll reveal the shirt.
We'll wait.
We'll wait. All right.
But
yeah,
it's-
but
go ahead.
sorry, no, but talking about this is difficult. Because condemnation is easy, right? Oh, what happened? But the actual ramifications of you having an elected leader who incites this sort of thing, to just talk about that in a broader perspective and what that actually means, that is quite hard. And I don't know where to go from here. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where you, as a country, will go from here, because I don't think this is the death of that movement.
And the thing is, when you can kind of see the writing on the wall and you say, hey, you can't talk like this. Hey, you can't act like this. You can't be this kind of leader, because it drives people to do stupid shit. And everyone says, oh, you're trying to stifle freedom of speech. You're trying to do that. Well, look where that freedom of speech landed. It landed right on the Capitol steps. And then he tries to put out a tweet while everybody's going live on their fucking phones. He wants to put, everybody be calm and listen to the police. You know they ain't reading that shit. It's too late now. You can't. It's the Chicago fire all over again. The cow done kicked the lantern over and the whole shit is ablaze. You can't start lecturing the cow about where to put their feet now. It's too late. The fire's already been set.
Yeah, but if you put out a fire that you set, should you really be, like, cheered on for that?
No, but he's not even saying put the fire out. He's just saying let's not start fires. It's like, bitch, you started the fire. And now you're trying to say let's not do fire-related activities. No, you did this shit.
Something that really sticks in my craw is all these so-called free speech constitutionalists were also there smashing up the press's cameras and everything. I'm all about the Constitution. Well, part of the Constitution is having a free press, and you're smashing their shit up. So you're stifling their free speech over to favour your speech. So you're an absolute fucking hypocrite. But you can't even see that because you're too entrenched and too emotional in your belief. So when someone points it out to you, you get angry at the person pointing it out to you. You don't actually take stock of what you've done and realise that you're being a massive hypocrite. You want to be all about the Constitution, freedom of speech. Well, everyone has the right to free speech in America under the Constitution. So how dare you?
No, just the people
talk about cancel culture.
Just the people that agree with me have freedom of speech, Wayne.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But it's pointing out that hypocrisy falls on deaf ears when it's something that is so people are so emotionally invested in. It is just like religion now. It's just become like religion, and it's tragic.
It's tribalism at work, but we have to remember also that. Well, I'm going to speak for my country, that the left is as guilty of tribalism as the right over here.
And here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I can't speak to that. You know what I mean? Like, but I can speak to Sweden, where I live, and Norway, where I'm from. The tribalism is as bad on the left as on the right, and it gets. We have started to see a lot of the left wingers over here doing the same things that we have been criticizing the right for doing for years, because obviously it fucking works, and now instead of taking the high road, they're going like, oh, this is an easy way out for us, and they start doing it.
It's grifting.
And I don't know how many fucking arguments I've been in where the same gaslighting where is being done. Like, if you criticize somebody from the left for being, a hypocrite, it always goes back to
you're not a real lefty.
So you're one of those right wingers, right? And I'm like, no, I'm fucking not. I'm just holding
Yeah.
my own to the same standards as I hold everybody else, and I
Yeah.
don't find that is wrong.
I
And
mean,
I-
I guess that's. I'm not gonna say that's unique to your country, but
No, definitely not.
in this country, it's kind of like talking point lines. I want to say it that way. Like, if you agree with these talking points, that makes you a leftist. If you agree with these talking points, that makes you a right winger. If you agree with some of this and some of this, that makes you moderate or independent.
Mm.
And I think that the classification distinctions are a little bit more murky.
They're
when it
completely
comes to that.
subjective. I mean, I watched a video earlier of there's a guy, his YouTube handle was Progressive Voice, and Jimmy Dore and David Pakman had a falling out, and he's sitting there saying, "Oh, I don't see David Pakman as a progressive. I see him as MSNBC light." And Jimmy Dore is more extreme left, but more grifting left, as in trying to get people angry to get more views. Whereas David Pakman's pretty chill when it comes to his reporting, as for his reportage, as we can all attest to here.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to be the right sort of left to be accepted by some people, and at the same time you have to be a different sort of left to be accepted by other people. Whereas the right seem to just think there's being right, and that's okay, but they disavow the far right. So it's the same dynamic, but we criticise more to the right than we do the left, I would say.
Of course we do, because we agree with the left and we disagree in case in point. I'm talking more about the tools that we use to get there. Being disingenuous and being one of these gaslighting fuckers and doing that is not okay when the right do it, and it's not okay when the left do it. Even though we
No.
agree on the case in point, we should do. I still believe that we should take the high road and we should do it proper and we should do it correctly and we should use sound arguments to get there. Because when we are using the same tools as the right has been using for years, we are dumbing down the very people that we are trying to get. We're making them more stupid by lying to them, and we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, well, people shouldn't get passes just because they align with us to a degree. How many disagreements have we had on here? And we're all pals, but we can have that disagreement and have a constructive conversation and move past it. It's when it becomes aggressive and it becomes threatening and emotional that I feel that that's where we lose it.
I don't think it's useful to play in the mud with other people when they're playing in the mud, because what ends up is you're just both dirty. And if you go back to what your initial intention was, it's nothing like that. So I don't buy the whole someone in the chat is talking about this is just a left-wing extremist. Yeah, well, call us what you will. However, we're willing to hold our own accountable, which has been vacant in the right wing for quite some time. It's been vacant on the left as well, and there's tons of cases of us speaking on it. So I'm not on anybody's side. I'm on the people's side at the end of the day. And speaking of being on the people's side, did you see the little Trumpers got so mad that the police were kicking them out when the curfew got enacted? And they're like, you know what? And they took their Blue Lives Matter flag and they put it in the mud and they walked all over it. And everyone's looking around like, dude, that's your flag. You bought that. Like you purchased that and now you're ruining it. Like,
yeah. Did you see that there was some footage of some guys trying to storm the governor's mansion, and they basically said, to the policemen that were guarding the governor's mansion, "Oh, we hate you. Black Lives Matter hates you. Antifa hates you. Everyone hates you." And it's like, what?
no,
What are you on about? So
Please, no.
when they're on your side, you're like, yeah, we're all about you. But when they tell you no, you act like petulant children and say, I don't like you anymore.
And it was just so funny to me. I was just like, why are you stomping on a flag that you bought as if the cop's gonna get mad? It's like, no, not the flag. Oh
Yeah.
man, I gotta
you
rethink
don't-
my methods.
You don't like us anymore. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? What do you
Not
want me to
even,
do?
not even the don't like, because you're destroying your own shit that you bought. Like, that's like when like Nike was mad when motherfuckers was burning shoes and jerseys. It was like, oh no, please don't burn it. But if you want to get like a Tom Brady, I got those on sale, $65.49. If you want to just get 2 of those.
Didn't their sales go through the roof after that?
Because everybody was buying different shit. It's like, you didn't show Nike anything.
Thanks for that. Well done. Our shareholders have gone, and bought a new Ferrari.
I needed a little bump in the third quarter. I appreciate y'all.
And I really wish that we had like friends of the show who maybe had, like a master's of economics and stuff that could help us in the after show explain where do we go from here. That would be really helpful. So if such a person exists, we are going to try to have an after show and talk about these things. So
as long as it's not sweet, I'm in.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Oh, fuck, He who shall not be named. I'm going to start calling him Voldemort. Is that okay? Or is that racist?
No, you can't call him Voldemort because you're not supposed to say the word Voldemort. I've done it twice now.
Oh, jeez.
You've done.
He who shall not be named might be joining us in the after show to explain these things to us.
And Tim is also a master of political science. Literally.
Yeah, he is. We would love to have him in there. Let's move on.
We have got experts on tap. It's just it's terrible. What kind of show is this?
I know what kind of show we're gonna be. It's time for a show that represents and says what's up to all our Patreons. It's the mid-roll, baby. What's up, y'all? I'm Brenna. I look the same.
I don't like your new haircut.
I don't look like different at all. I just dyed my beard. So this is when we shout out all those lovely, beautiful people that support us month to month on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. And right now, I'm going to list those peoples. Jenna. Come on, guys. There you go. Chicken Anonymous.
Oh, yeah. Fuck that.
Oh, wait a minute.
That entity.
All right, Chicken Anonymous.
Fried chicken. My page isn't loading. There we go. Barbara. Tons of mice. Good old Ricky Scurvy.
Ricky.
Miss Nana. Hi, Mom.
Hey, baby. Miss you.
Stop it. Right now. David McGinnis.
Dave.
Katharina.
Cat.
Stuart.
Stewie.
Fucking Austin Fowdy over there.
Austin, how you doing, Austin?
Kristen, Miss Famine, and longtime friend and supporter of the show, our first Patreon patron, Richard. So if you guys want to be cool like these people, go to patreon.com/thebinpodcast and get your pledges in.
Yes.
Oh, we have a troll in the chat. Let me just block them forever. Out of here. She says, "Boo, we want Brenna." You know what? I'm ordering you barbecue. I'm ordering you barbecue for dinner. How dare you?
Aw.
Bueller. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting us. And a couple of housekeeping notes. We are not on a certain platform anymore because they don't really help us get our message across, and all they want is our money. And we're not playing that. Yeah, fuck you, MySpace. Yeah, we're not playing that game. We'll go to the platforms that are more willing to help content creators and slower to just suck us for our resources, but not in a good way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Speaking of Swedish people, Shartan, you had something about Sweden you wanted to talk about?
I do, and It's sort of an old story by this, but I just want to talk about it because it shows a bit of, I would call it fucking corruption, right? But the head of the Swedish Crisis Preparedness Agency traveled to visit family in the Canary Islands over Christmas, and his response when being asked about this at the airport by press is that, well, he refrained from so much traveling this year and he felt that it was necessary for him to make this travel to spend 2 weeks in the Canary Islands because his daughter lives there. And for obvious reason, this pissed me the fuck off because here the fuck I am in a cabin with no running water, no electricity, and I'm doing that for 20 fucking days. 10 days in, 10 days out, and I'm a fucking nobody. And here you are, head of the agency supposed to take care of crisis management in Sweden, and you go like, nah, I'm going to go for 2 weeks because I feel it's necessary. And by the way, I refrained from traveling all year. Well, fuck you, guy. You're the only one who refrained from traveling. What the fuck?
Yeah. I tried to go on a fucking honeymoon.
Yeah, and here is the crux of the thing. So this man has been the head of, I think, 3 different. Oh, let's do some live googling because I don't want to mess this up. I did something.
Google alert.
There we go. I did a thing again.
So this is what we do. We live fact check our own selves.
That's because we body slam each other if we ever get anything wrong. So
yes, we fucking
so you
do.
better just like wait and check in the moment because if you fuck it up.
Yeah. All right. So he's been head of the migration agency, of our social security office, and for the police actually. And now he's been moved on from his head as a crisis management agency. So, but the problem is, and why I call this, yes, I understand that this is not corruption per se. He's not getting paid off, but they decide to just move him around because he's a loyal supporter of the Social Democratic Party, which is basically the party that I would vote for in the next election. And they keep moving him around. And why do we keep these people around? So he did a piss poor job at the migrations office, got moved out there because there was, issues with cooperation with this guy. And that happened in the next 2 as well. And he fucked it up every time. And he fucked it up again. What are we going to do now? Are we going to move him into the next agency? Probably, yeah. Because he's got an appointment that's going to span for the next, I think it's like the next 3 years or something. And they still have to pay him. But we would be better off without these fucking appointments, just getting rid of these fucking wankers. I don't get paid for 3 fucking years if I get laid off from work. If I fuck up,
I'm moving to Sweden if that's how it works.
We have a similar system over here where they just basically move them around. So they're a minister in this government, and then they get found out for doing something bad, and so they get sacked. But then the next administration comes in. Oh, you can have a job back again. Forget about all that went behind, because they're all pally. They're all sort of like, in their little WhatsApp groups and everything. So when a job comes up, the same people get moved into a different position, but they're all ministers. It's just corruption breeds corruption.
Yeah, and I call it corruption because that's basically what it is. It's us keeping our friends close, and we make sure that people that agree with us stay in positions of power, and then fuck everything else, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And even though this is the party that I would probably vote for in the next election, it would either be that or the left party.
And to be fair, to sort of do the criticism of both sides again, Joe Biden is the same as Mitch McConnell. They're career politicians. They've always been given big jobs, and they've always been moved around. So it's it's the same on the left and the right. So it's not a case of like you're criticising one side over the other. You're being equal on that front.
No, I agree. I just wanted to bring it out because a lot of the time that we talk about where I live, there it's always like, you know, I make it sound like it's, you know, bright and dandy and we don't have any issues. We fucking do.
I wonder who says that the most, though. I wonder who's always talking about like it's the best place in the world and everyone else is living in a third world country. I wonder who is the person.
It still is one of the best places in the world to live, but that doesn't mean that we don't have.
Scandinavia is the utopia.
Hmm.
Why would that be?
I have a quote coming to me, Wayne. Here in the civilized world.
Off, Wayne. You're not even a part of Europe. You're just an island in the Atlantic. You're fucking Iceland without the scenery.
There it is.
Look, mate.
And worse food. And those people eat fermented shark dick. So fuck you.
They didn't have actual sewers until about 1965, so
that's not fair.
I think we invented sewers, but whatever.
Speaking of sewers and getting rid of
your sewers are little trenches that run along the sidewalk. I'm talking about underground enclosed sewers. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Wayne just got confused because they call them drinking fountains now.
Oh,
because they're not in part of Europe.
Speaking of flushing the shit down the toilet, just recently in the last hour, it's come across the wire that certain people in government are looking to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump for his behavior over the last 48 hours. In which case, I think I'll go first here. What do you plan on doing?
Have they got time?
He's out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, what's the point?
He's got 13 days left, and now you want to do it.
Well, talk about flushing things down the toilet. I don't have a toilet, and it doesn't flush. It's just a fucking hole in the ground. But yeah, it's what I would say is the reason they should do it is because of the president that he sets. You cannot do what he just did.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been able to do any of the shit he's just said. So what are you going to do? Take it to the House and the Senate and have them vote on it? They don't have the numbers to get rid of him. So you're just bringing up something to bring up something, and then they're not going to vote him out. And then you're just making a bigger spectacle out of him than he already is.
His cabinet are not all of his cabinet are going to turn against him on that front.
He needs 15 of them to turn on him.
Yeah. Which ain't going to happen.
Which ain't going to happen. So even if that does happen, you need what? Tim, help me out here. What does he need for votes to get out of there? All right, I'll wait for Tim's response. Just a bit of a throw.
Yeah. And the thing is, at the minute, it's not agreed that he can pardon himself. There's some ambiguity within the constitutional wording, but if you
want to hear more about that, look at our episode with Ken Goldman, an actual lawyer who talked about this.
Yeah, and the thing is, if he was to get removed now, then Pence can still preemptively pardon him for anything that he might get charged with, unless it's a state law, which New York State look to be gunning for him.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can get pardoned for all the federal stuff, but not the state stuff. So I think he should just stay in till the end, ride it out, come out, and then end up in Nick. Nick is British slang for prison.
And
it was also the lead singer of Wayne's vocal harmony group.
Nick Lachey. You used to sing with Nick Lachey. Wayne, you were in 98 Degrees?
I was the one that left before they signed the record deal.
Oh, god damn it. Just when you think, you're like, they're going nowhere.
You know, like that fella from O-Town who left because he wanted all the money. There's a reference for you.
Fucking O-Town. I haven't thought about O-Town since I had fucking Shit, those little slap wrist bracelets or some shit. Since I was collecting Pokemon cards this last time, I thought about O-Town.
I'm almost surprised that Wayne wasn't like the sixth member of the Beatles.
No.
Oh, okay.
A little bit before my time, mate. Just a tad.
What? You're old as shit.
Who's the oldest? Is it Wayne or
He
is it
is.
Shelton?
Can we do this every week?
I don't remember.
He is.
No, it's Shartan. Shartan's smiling too big. It's got to be Shartan.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not the oldest.
Yeah. Thou doth protest too much, Shartan. You
I
are
am
definitely.
I am a year younger than Wayne.
Yeah, what a fucking hard life it is in Sweden. Look at the state here.
In a cabin doing a web show via candlelight.
I'm here in my kitchen. My kids' pictures up in the fridge.
All right, sing us a tune.
Wine.
Oh.
That says it all. I bet you was an altar boy, weren't you?
I'm not allowed to talk about that. I signed on NDA.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know. We'll post it in chat.
So, Cortez, your thoughts on them trying to invoke the 25th Amendment? Should they do it? Is it worth it?
It's not worth it. And the reason that I say it is because, and I'm going to be very unequivocally honest. Normally I'm a little bit more towing the line, but I'm going to not toe the line this time. The president and the vice president, neither of them can be trusted. They both have their own agendas. The vice president is a career politician. And not that I have a problem with people who are career politicians, but there's one thing that I've noticed about him is that he does what services him. He doesn't do what services the country. He doesn't do what services the people of the country. Mike Pence is for Mike Pence. And if anybody didn't realize that yesterday after watching the deliberations, then he is for Mike Pence, which means that Mike Pence could pardon Donald Trump if he wants to. But if Mike Pence has other career aspirations, as in becoming a senator again or going back to being the president or trying to run for president in the next election, which he probably will try, then he doesn't want to associate himself with Donald Trump. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lose Trump's constituents because Trump's constituents damn near won Trump this election. And I'm not going to pretend that Trump lost in a landslide because it wasn't a landslide. It came down to yesterday to actually get people to understand that this election is over.
I don't think they see it that way.
They probably don't. They probably don't.
I think to Cortez's point, there's a lot of opportunists out there that don't want to sort of separate themselves too far away from that particular base, but at the same time they want to curry favour with the incumbent because they want to see, that they can work with each other.
Right.
And I just feel that there's right now it will show. I mean, Lindsey Graham's a perfect example in the sense of look at all the shit he was saying about Trump prior to his nomination, and then when he won the election, look how quick he turned around and said, "Tickle my belly," and now look how quick he's turned again. So people like Lindsey Graham flip-flopping everywhere for his own personal interest. I think there's too many people in the Republican Party that will be following that same sort of rhetoric.
I think they're all trying to stage their dismount because now that he's lost and they want to continue their careers, they got to figure out some way to make it seem like they're not as nasty and spineless as they have been over the last 3.5, 4 years. And on top of that, I think the amount of YouTubers and podcasters and general content creators that are on the opposite side of the fence of me on so many issues, you are so disgusting for continuing this fake election bullshit. Like, you're literally just playing on a fucking conspiracy theory for clicks. You know he lost. You don't care that people believe you even though you're wrong. You know you have no fucking backup for anything that you're saying, but you're going to say it anyway because it keeps those fucking numbers up. Even
two
numbers
people,
are great.
case in point, Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. They were all about the progressiveness back in the day, pre-Trump. Now they've gone so far right.
Yeah.
Sorry, right. Just for clicks and whistles. You know, it's so transparent, it's so pathetic and so see-through.
Well, the way that so I watched this thing all day yesterday while I was working. I couldn't join you guys on the coverage show. And one of the things that I was looking at was what were the politicians saying, both on Twitter and in front of the camera. And for someone like me, who I would call myself seasoned at this point, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a journalist, but it was very, 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 very ambiguous. And it's very like, and the thing that about Mike Pence that I really don't like is that everybody else that's out front, I'm not talking about the background people, but everybody else that's out front, whether it be Senator Cortez Ocasio, whether it be Senator Sanders, whether it be Vice President-elect Biden, whether it be the former president and my president Barack Obama, whether it be even Bush, they don't do the whole I'm going to be extremely duplicitous in my delivery. They're all very straight these days. And Mike Pence is like, I'm going to ride this fence as long as I can ride this fence. I'm going to ride this fence until my jeans get ripped. That's the type of person that he is. Like, he'll say, he'll privately deny President Trump from getting what President Trump wants. And it comes out publicly that he denied President Trump's request. But then in the middle of the reconvening of the Congress, he goes on there and he talks to the people, and he doesn't ever call them what they are. He didn't ever call them what they were, and I was so mad because I'm like, okay, Pence, you want me to like you? You have less than 20 days to make me like you, and he totally jagged. He totally messed it up. And and he's sitting there. We are the American people. We believe in honor and order. We are the party of law and order, and we don't believe in civil disobedience and violence, especially when it comes against our Constitution. I'm just like, dude, say what you have to say. You are the vice president and the president of Congress. Say it. Say it.
Say it with your chest.
Hey, man, we lost. We don't believe in that. Anarchy is not what we're doing here. If we want to win, we'll take it back. He would have gained support if he would have said, I will see you in 4 years.
Right.
If he would have said that, I guarantee you the rest of the Republican Congress and the people outside the building, the people that were watching on TV, would have said, that's the president that we wanted. All he had to say was one thing. We'll see you in 4 years. We lost fair and square. We're going back to the drawing board. We're going to try this thing again, and we are going to make America great. That's all he had to say. He would have.
I am so clipping that.
Like, he would have took all the steam from Trump, all of it, because now nobody cares about this loser, and everybody cares about the vice president who's a career politician, who's ran states, who's ran towns, who's ran cities, who knows what the country needs. That's all he had to say. But no, Mike Pence, you had to drop the ball. You had to be flaccid in the seat of the president of Congress, and you had to play the political game. You know what? I used to be a Republican, a very, very, very staunch conservative, and I wanted you to say something smart there, and you couldn't do it. So fuck you. Don't ride the fence when people are taking over my Capitol building that I signed my name over for, that so many other people in this country have signed their name over for to protect our sanctity. And you got these asshats over in other countries, ass shit, talking about look how weak we look. I still got to live here. I can't leave. We look weak because y'all let these freaking farmers inside with their stupid buffalo helmets on, sitting in your seat. Mike Pence, you're a bitch. I'm telling you right now, you're a bitch. Because all those Marines out there and all those servicemen that had your fucking back are sitting there watching the broadcast, and that's the best you can do? Fuck you, Mike Pence. You let us down. Again. Hell no, I wouldn't vote for your bitch ass. You couldn't even stand up there and say the right thing. I'm not even a politician, and I knew what to say. We lost. We got this in 4 years. See you then. We're going back to the drawing board. We're going to make America great. One election does not determine America. You stupid fuck.
And Ease adds in some of them took selfies with them, which is I've since we're talking about it again, we already know what would have happened to Black Lives Matter if they would have tried the same thing. We already know what would have happened. There would have been bodies everywhere if they tried to rush the doors like that. But the fact that the cops were just kind of like, oh, well, let's fall back. And then the fact that they just let them go in. They asked for help. They asked for extra people. They didn't get the extra people. Extra people would be on the way after everything had already taken place. I don't know.
Like, I have been in protests. You have been in protests. You know that in the protests, they hold the line. They hold the line. They tear gas. They mace. They fire rubber bullets. Let's take it back a little bit old school, since some of y'all are a little bit unfamiliar with it. They use dogs and fire hydrants and gates and military vehicles that the police have access to keep people, battering rams, to keep people in their sections. They make you get on your knees and put your hands behind your back so that you are not a threat. They make you put your hands in the air. None of this happened yesterday at the Capitol. We're all, not some, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of Congress was there. The entire United States governing body of elected officials was in a building, minus the president. And y'all shoot one lady.
And
these dudes are walking around with the podium for this. Mitch, hey Mitch, what's up, dude? Yeah, where's my stimulus check? But hey, Mitch, that was your podium. You've had that podium for umpteen years. You're supposed to be important. You got this asshat that looks like Frank from Shameless running around with your podium, taking selfies and pictures and smiling. What are you gonna do about it? Wait, that's right, nothing.
No, I didn't.
But Cortez, tell us how you really feel.
And it's and they were. I refused to call these people protesters because they were rioters, and I refused to say that they weren't looting because they were literally going in there looting. They were taking fucking national artifacts out of the halls.
I would go a step further. I would say that they were terrorists.
Yeah,
because they were using violence
for. What should you call it besides being a terrorist?
It's violence to a political end. Yeah. So that's pretty much the definition of terrorism.
Right, like.
But someone mentioned this today. Everything. I'll tell you, it was Sheila Fogarty on LBC. She basically said America are very good at acknowledging external terrorism, but when it comes to internal terrorism, it's always called something else. But the two things are the same.
So Wayne, you are my brother across the water.
Yep.
Extra emphasis on the A in there, because I don't know why y'all like the A inflection, but hey, whatever, it's good. Walt. Yeah, see, there you go. I got you. Water.
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 I'm coming as fuck.
I'm from Liverpool. It's water.
Liverpool. It's I can't do a Scouse accent.
So let me explain something. In the 1980s, they bombed a Philadelphia's town in West Philly, bombed a black town, and leveled it. They didn't have a reason. To this day, they don't have a reason, and they have not apologized for it.
Was the Black Wall Street?
No, that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
You see, you're getting where I'm going here. In the 60s, 70s, 80s in Chicago, there was the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party is responsible for creating welfare, creating universal health care, creating child daycares that were free to people who were working. They created the food drive. They created the Operation Christmas. They created Toys for Tots. You're never going to read this in a history book, but the Black Panthers created all of that. This country did not have it before that. And you know what they did? They went into their house while they were sleeping and they murdered them. And they called them radicals. They called them terrorists. They called them counter cells and everything else in this country. And those people didn't bust a grape. Didn't bust a grape. They did everything. They called them a gang. They did not bust a grape against those people. The whole separate but equal thing was not because they wanted to be away from the rest of the country. Separate but equal was just let me live. I will make my own way if you just let me do it. And every single time that our people here start doing anything for themselves, that is what happens. And you know what's messed up?
Okay. No. Wait.
Let me finish. What is messed up about that is that I'm tired of comparing us and them. We shouldn't have to do this today in 2021. I'm tired of comparing their treatment when they do things, because let's keep it real. They did a thing yesterday. When they do things to our people literally minding their own business, there should not be a comparison there. What I'm saying is this: America, if you're listening, wake up, because this is annoying.
Was your turn?
Yeah. So, fine. The Black Panthers did a lot of good things. They also did a lot of bad things. So, when you mention all
Name
these
one.
things, all right, let me go into Google again.
Name one bad thing the Black Panther Party did that's not written by the FBI. Name one.
No, I'm not saying that it wasn't written by, and I'm not defending what happened to them. But when we talk about things, we can't talk about only
Yeah,
only the
Cortez.
good things.
Well, they
Sorry,
weren't.
let me
Drug
just jump in
dealers because they're
quickly.
Muslim.
Let me quickly jump in as a referee here, right? Cortez, what we were speaking about earlier about getting too emotional and being blinkered by stuff that we believe in, we have to be able to be objectively told when they've done something bad. And we have to accept it.
But what I'm asking you is, if they did something bad, tell me what it is.
Okay, they killed Fred Hampton and Mark Clark.
No, I'm talking about the Black Panthers.
Yeah, the Black Panthers. Let's see. I have to look at this, and this is why we talk about stuff beforehand. But let's see.
Not the new Black Panther Party. The Black Panther.
No. The 1969 formed Black Panther Party, right?
Mike, we can't hear you.
Well, 1968, I think.
All right, my bad. Muted. All right, let's save that for the after show. Let's not live Google something when we're this close to wrapping up.
The point is that there was things done by the Black Panthers. I don't have anything that weren't, and the ends don't justify the means.
Yeah.
And doing bad shit, even though you have a good cause and your ends are a good thing. I can't stand behind that, but I also know that is me, a white guy, talking, and that comes from a place of privilege, all right? So we do need rioting. We do need people to stand up and talk, but when we talk about these things, we also have to talk about it in a metered way.
Yeah, and we have to be objective, and we have to say, hang on a minute, no, here's an example of someone doing a bad thing. Now, this bad thing may not counteract all of the good, but it's still a bad thing. So we need to be able to hold ourselves and anyone who we support their feet to the fire, because that's how we operate. That's how we own. That's how we get by. That's how we actually admit, yeah, we were wrong about this, and we can move on. But
okay.
Go on.
So another thing that you guys are going to have to put into context is when the things that the Black Panthers were doing, these things, everything they did was illegal. Feeding kids was illegal. They weren't allowed to do any of this. So when we say bad, we have to make sure we have lines about what we mean by bad. We're going to have to delineate every single line there, because because if you're talking about a party that's literally bucking against the system is set up to keep them from fighting back. So they made every single reservation possible to make sure that everything that they tried to do was by definition illegal. Was it wrong or was it illegal? You know what I'm saying? Was it bad or was it illegal? Because I have to send in the cops now because they're doing illegal activities. It's like, but they're illegal because you don't want them to do it, not because they're morally wrong or there's something. You know what I'm saying? It's not like don't speed because you'll kill people. It's don't drive red cars on this street.
No, I'm talking about like if people, like what the point Jartan made, someone died. All
right. Yeah. Really but I got that wrong because I read that wrong and I was a bit quick on. So Fred Hampton was a member of the Black Panthers, and he was killed by the police. Right. The one that I was thinking about was this one, Alex Recchi, a 90-year-old member of the New York chapter of the Black Panther Party, was tortured and murdered because they suspected him of being a police informant. 3 party officers, Warren Kimbrough, George Sams Jr., and Lou McLaughlin, later admitted taking part. Sams gave the order to shoot Recchi. So is that not? So they only did the good things, or did they torture and kill a 19-year-old too? Why don't we mention that in the same context? Why do we only mention the good things that they did?
You go first.
So, I'm not saying you're all lives mattering this, but I'm just going to point out it's kind of like when someone's killed by the police and then we dig up their rap sheet and we want to see if they stole a bar of candy or something like that. Not to equivocate the two things by any stretch of the imagination, but
I disagree.
But the whole organization didn't do that. That chapter did that, but you've attributed that to the whole party. So
I'm from
No. Let's go back, because he contributed all the good things to the entire party, but the bad things that happened under the banner of the party are just individuals.
No. I will clarify. So me being in such a proximity to Chicago and having ancient family members that were also from Chicago, you mentioned the New York chapter. And not that I'm discounting what New York has done or anything like that, but I'm going to go on to say that everything good that Chicago did and everything good that New York did are the things that they were being targeted for. And this person that you mentioned was someone that wasn't suspected. This person was guilty. On top of that, look at what happened to them because of people trying to bring them down internally. And while it was the wrong type of action to take, sometimes those are the breaks. I mean,
okay.
Bin Laden got it, and so did everybody else that messed with this country. So
let's make this
good for the gander. And
let's make this more contemporary.
One of our politicians and tortured them because we captured their politicians and tortured them. Then that's what's going to happen. It's just how it is.
Let's make this more contemporary. All right, we were all sitting here criticising all them twats at the Capitol building yesterday. All right, are they all culpable of what happened?
Yes.
Are they all culpable? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Are they all culpable for the violence and the trespassing and all of that? Are they all culpable of that?
No, the ones who did it are definitely responsible for what they did.
The ones who were there, yeah.
The ones that are there
inside the building, yes. If you were inside that building, you're culpable.
But we use a blanket to call all of those people one thing. But the people that actually broke the law, they're the ones that we want to focus on.
The ones that are inside are the ones that we're talking about. if you were in Chicago yesterday watching it on TV with your hat on and your flag outside of your house, I can't blame you for that. But if you were
just outside by the National Monument and it was all going off and you was wearing the hat, you're saying that they're all culpable as well.
If you were inside, yes. If you were outside, no.
All right,
you have the right to be outside.
We're gonna take this to round 2. We're gonna wrap for today.
Jesus,
you gotta say something for the
extra. Just one thing. The only thing I want to say is that I'm not taking away all the things that Black Panther did that were fantastic, right? And the Black Panthers were targeted. A lot of things happened. I'm not taking anything away from all the good that they did. I'm just saying that when we talk about this thing, we have to be measured, we have to be objective. And that's all that I'm saying. And saying that the Black Panthers never did anything bad, we know that that's not true. They did bad things, or bad things were done under their banner. But if we're saying that Black Panthers did the good things, right? And we're not saying which chapter or who did it, but as soon as there's something bad, well, then it's just a bad egg.
I can't argue with you on that, but you definitely said what I would. This is why I love talking to you so much, is because we're on the same page. It's just that we're saying it different ways. But you mentioned eggs, and as I close, what I'm going to say is, and everybody knows it's coming. How do you make an omelet?
Take a chicken. You take a chicken by the feet. You spin it.
When you make an omelet, sometimes you got to crack a few eggs.
And on that bombshell, we're going to end today's episode. And if you want to join in, I know that there's a couple people chomping at the bit who are ready to tear apart our European and American hosts equally. We're going to have an after show. I probably won't be there for most of it because I'm starving to pieces.
Stay on for a bit.
I haven't eaten yet either. I got up and started doing the show. As you can see, I'm in my pajamas.
Literally trying to wrap up the show and you're telling me about your pajamas. And Wayne, I'm not... What, Wayne? What do you want?
Just potential.
Wayne be in the chats, y'all. Wayne be in the chats.
People be maybe jumping in here in a minute.
Excellent.
So we should lighten the mood.
Oh no, the Ben is.
Hold on, Mr. Light Skin. You ain't lightening nothing over here. I'm playing with you.
No, I can lighten the mood. I can lighten the mood.
We're not lightening. Hey, we're not gonna lighten any mood because we're ending the fucking show, so we don't have a 15-hour fucking stream again. So we're gonna end at our hard hour point. We're gonna get better about that, everybody, and I apologize. But our shows have been a little long in the tooth lately, so we're gonna keep it at a brisk 60 minutes, so that if you guys missed the episode and you want to watch it back later on in the week, you don't have this giant monumental task in front of you.
We gotta stay live on Twitch.
We're gonna do a fucking after show. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you guys next Thursday. Make sure you go to patreon.com/thepinpodcast. Give us all your monies. Run us some of that stimulus money.
Somebody post the Twitch link in the comments.
And if you want to see me constantly falling off a snowmobile, you'll get to see that too. All
right, we will see you guys in about 15 minutes. Links will be going out. If you do want to join the after show, please hit us up on Twitter. At Bidden Podcast, and send us a DM or something like that, or at us, and then we'll see about getting you a link. All right, so for Shartan, Cortez, Wayne, and Brenna, America's sweetheart, I'm Mikey Famine, and this has been the Bidden Podcast. Peace out, Girl Scouts.